Hello, everybody. Um, Thank you for joining in on our monthly webinar. My name is Julian. Excited to kind of give you guys this walkthrough of Mission Control. And specifically today, we within our last major release, we just released the feature of a resource request object. So happy to highlight that within our demo today. Um, Let me just wait a couple more seconds and move a couple screens over before I jump into things. It's starting to get hot and humid in Montreal, so I'm starting to feel the effects of not having my air conditioner set up yet, which I'll get to directly after this call. But in the meantime, let me share my screen here. So happy to host this webinar again. Happy to have you ask questions within the chat if you have any throughout the call. I'll try to field them directly on the call. If there's something maybe I can't field or something that's a little bit off the path, I'll definitely take note and we'll reach out to you directly after the call to make sure no question goes unturned. With that being said, let me share a quick introduction and agenda for today. So, my name is Julian, account executive here at Mission Control. As an account executive here at Mission Control, that also bleeds into the world of sales engineering. So, um, anyone within America East or mostly all of US at the moment, if you reach out to me, I will help you out through the full sales cycle of finding out, discovering if we are the right solution for you, helping you build your requirement lists, and demonstrating the solution to yourself and teams within your organization. So, greetings and salutations. In terms of what we'll be going through today, quick introductions on our side, kind of going through the why of mission control, why do many happy professional service organizations, construction firms, marketing agencies, software companies, why is everyone happy with mission control and kind of say how does it benefit their business? A brief intro on who mission control is, kind of say our story, a little bit about our leadership. Um, and then I'll be jumping into a demo. So today's demo, I will definitely be going through kind of a standard order of operations, which would be talking about roles, the role record, how that exists in Salesforce, mission control. I'll also be talking about automating a project from an opportunity or the multiple ways we're able to create a project, staffing the project, playing around with all the features and bells and whistles within our project object. And then going into when I go into the staffing, I'll be going through, let's say, using our standard resource request object, or I'll even be using our automation tool. But then we also have our specific resource request feature we just launched. I'll definitely be showing into that, and then going into some high level analytics, KPIs within our platform that you're able to manage and overview your team's successful operations, and then even going briefly into our support documentation online, which I know gets a lot of positive feedback. So happy to share that your way. And at the end, feel free to reach out my way or our way. We're more than happy to discuss how mission control can be helpful for yourself, your team, your organization, and help hit those KPIs. So, with that being said, the why of mission control. At its core, we are native to Salesforce. So we're an ISV app on the Salesforce App Exchange, meaning we live in your Salesforce environment. Think of us as like a layer of project management in your environment, where every data point, every record you'll be seeing today can be reported on within native Salesforce reporting. Think of us as almost like professional service cloud. Doesn't exist, but we kind of fill that void within Salesforce offering. And the idea is we give you our full solution. We're not trying to upsell you on features over time. There's no need to kind of Frankenstein in different elements of the solution. We give you the full solution. The idea is for you to use what's important for you, maybe drown out what's not important, and then kind of have different specific interfaces for different individuals, groups, teams, or anyone you see fit. Um, in terms of getting started, implementation, kind of the setup, no code required. It's all front-end manipulation from Salesforce. And as we're an app on the App Exchange, by clicking Get It Now, our app will be live in your environment within 20 minutes. And then really kind of the implementation, onboarding, and just configuring layouts, making sure you have all the right information or take the information that's not important for you out, and really kind of have that really specific interface for your users. In terms of also learning up on the solution, we do have amazing collateral online. So we have a learning portal. We can get certifications. There are We have a knowledge base, the video base, user guide, quick start guide. We have playbooks, we have campfires, we have webinars. We have everything that could be helpful for your team to kind of get the most out of our solution by yourself. But if you do need help from our team, our support will quickly and efficiently reach out to you. So our success teams are based in Australia and the US. So as close as possible to 24-hour support we do have. In terms of onboarding, let's see, getting started with our team, average time to go live is roughly within a month. We try to keep it as simple as possible, focus on MVP, and really kind of crawl, walk, run approach. Obviously, we won't skip out anything that's hyper important for you, but we really, because we are truly an out-of-the-box solution, as turnkey as possible for a PSA, by clicking download, you're live in the organization and really kind of making sure your business processes match the solution and basically not there's no redundancy. So we want to kind of our whole point is to remove redundancies and have this be as effective and efficient for your team as possible. In terms of what a standard sales cycle looks like with myself or our team, really kind of going through four stages where pre-sales, post-sales, and kind of everything in between. So understanding if we're a fit, doing discovery. If we're not a fit, we'll tell you. Basically, we only want to work with solutions that will benefit from mission control. So the idea is working with I guess working with teams that we're familiar with, and it is a fairly big space, so we do know how companies like yourself might need to be helped by a solution like ours. So identifying what are those requirements in terms of MVP, future state, going through an evaluation stage where we really kind of find out what's important for you. If it's demos, if it's a workshop, if it's a hybrid of both, we'll make sure everything makes sense, and then it goes into onboarding where our team will build out a specific plan for your requirements. We do have self onboarding paths. We do have standardized onboarding processes. We're also very flexible in between. So whatever makes sense for you, we will have that make sense for us. And then ongoing support. So we do have three major releases a year. We send over the documentation. We're happy to release readiness with you. And we do have first class support with our amazing and honorable success team. In terms of features and functionalities, look, I think it would be a benefit to no one if I were to go through all of this today. But the idea is we have this here for you. So realistically, what is a PSA? It's kind of joining in the features of a resource manager, uh, project management, and time solution. Having these three things live innately together will give you deeper visibility on your bench, your processes, your timelines, and really kind of help you understand estimates versus actuals. A lot of financial implications there, and I could just go on and on. But we're really trying to help you streamline your processes and build better customer relations. Terms of our history, Mission Control has been on the App Exchange for 14 years. The company's a little bit older than that, but being on the App Exchange for 14 years, we haven't ever changed hands. So our CTO and our CEO are the actual founders. No part of our solution was ever Frankenstein together. We really are one cohesive solution. So we use our tool to run our full business above and beyond our service team. There's someone I used to work with who would always say life is a project. So imagine onboarding employees, control processes, service teams, implementation, anything you can imagine. Your weekly stand-ups, everything should be a project. And we're more than happy to show you how to kind of leverage that within one cohesive solution based on Salesforce. In terms of logos, we would work with a lot of industry leaders, a lot of proud logos on this page. So more than happy to share some case studies, which we do have, and which I mean possibly share at the end of the call as well. So with that being said, let me stop sharing. Boom. Here, go into here. Here we go. So this is mission control. It might look familiar because it is Salesforce. As I mentioned earlier, think of us as kind of, let's say, a series of custom objects that live in your environment. Um, a layer of project management within your instance. So, and we seamlessly interact with Salesforce features. So you can see on top, we do have a bunch of native Salesforce features like home, accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads. And then you start to see some mission control objects like projects, timesheet, scheduler, Gantt chart, meeting manager, and all of this fun stuff down here. As I mentioned earlier, we give you the full solution. The idea is you're not going to use the full solution getting started, but identify what's important for you and kind of focus on those pieces. So let's say if I want to go, if I want to show you kind of, let's say, what an interface that would be a little bit more realistic for an end user might look something like this, where you just have, let's say, a focus on projects, actions, dashboards, Kanban, and Gantt chart. Really kind of just putting on blinders what's important for different individuals, because that's how we suggest using solution, and I guess even any solution for that matter. So before I jump into the actual fun stuff. What I'll be doing is going into no, not an opportunity, going into a role record. I'll be discussing what is a role. So a role is a mission control user. A role is someone who is assigned to projects, has billable hours, could be non-billable hours as too, has calendar, and basically uses our solution. I'm going to go into my own role record here, so we can see into that. So let's say you can see that I have a name, I have a function, I have a title. What we could also see here is that I work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, which rolls up to 40 hours. Um, doesn't need to be 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, but basically everyone, if you have, say, if you have externals, it's all be really specific to individuals. Um, I have my own billable target rate. So let's say on different views, there's gonna be different views I show you later on that I might be in the green, it might be in the red, it might be in the yellow. It's all based on my own billable target. So everyone could have their own kind of, say, goals and aims. I have my own cost rate, I have my own bill rate. The idea here is um, that's my own personal cost rate, my own personal bill rate. If I need to, let's say, use a rate card or leverage a deeper costing mechanism like role based or cost based billing. Or if I want to do blended rates, I could always change that at the project level or even account level as well. So this is just my own bill rate and cost rate. There's also a series of front end settings I could set up. So let's say at the project level, I could see I have visibility into, let's say, what tabs are important. But I think most importantly, what I want to share within this role record side of things is the actual what's related to my own role. So you can see here that I work on projects. I work on milestones. I have actions assigned to me. I have a bunch of time logs. But I've also been assigned skills and certifications along with being part of teams. So what happens there is that basically because I'm assigned skills and certifications, I would be able to filter out who might be the best fit for an action, or even like looking at my bench. I'm based in Montreal, Canada. I speak French. If I wanted, let's say, if I just for some reason as an executive or a manager, I want to see, hey, what's the capacity of all my French speaking members on my team? I could just quickly and easy filter is based on my team assignment. So it's a great way to kind of filter and better understand who's part of what skill or who's part of a certain geographic region or has whatever it is. Along with that, we also have our own holiday record, so a holiday object, so you're able to log time, book your holidays, um, take time off, PTO, sick, whatever it is, and even have approval processes to get them approved. So let's say if you are leveraging an external HR solution, as we are native to Salesforce, our own API is the Salesforce API, meaning if you are ever looking to push and pull information from Salesforce, because we're native, we leverage the Salesforce API, and we'll be leveraging their amazing, robust calls for our own objects. Now, as I want to jump into something a little bit more interesting, let's go into the opportunity side. So what I'll be doing is creating a standard opportunity. This is nothing new here. So let's just say June 18th. June 18 webinar. Standard close date, yes, sir. Prospecting, cool. So this is a standard Salesforce opportunity. Nothing really new here on our front. But what we can see is just that first interaction between um, Salesforce and Mission Control. So on the right-hand side, you see I've related some objects. So I've related forecasts, projects, project requests, change requests. And basically, this is where we step first real interaction of how you're able to automate a project creation um, from a opportunity. So what we could do here is basically every business does this slightly differently. Um, so we've made our solution so that you are able to match whatever your business process is and have it elegantly kind of stay coordinated within mission control. So something I often see is companies who leverage Salesforce products. What you could do is by adding products to an opportunity, basically you would be able to match those products with project templates. So by adding multiple products, you would be able to build like a modular project and then have it spun at when a certain pipeline status gets hit. Typically, it's close one. It doesn't always need to be close one. It could be any status here. It could be your custom status, whatever it is. But basically, moving this over and having an opportunity pipeline status change trigger the project creation. This whole process can be done within CPQ as well. So let's say if you're looking to leverage CPQ products and then have them uh, pushed into projects, that can be done as well. But for today, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. What I'm going to do is go in and just grab a project template that I like leveraging for calls like this. Um, Start date today. We have multiple ways to generate projects from an opportunity. I'm just going to have it keep it simple from the opportunity and generate. So what I'll be doing here, saving this, and as I mentioned, my trigger is close one, doesn't need to be close one, but by moving this to close one, we have now generated a project. So a project could be as granular and detailed or as high level and bucket-like as you need. And it could be both. You could have this like highly detailed and structured work breakdown, like all going all the way down to the checklist item with like a bucket on top for let's say a developer to just log time into a bucket. It really you kind of create this as you need. So you should have multiple types of templates, multiple type of projects, and have everything pre-made for you. So you kind of let's say chopping off that time for actually creating projects and even the manual errors that might go into it. So by by saying that, I'm going to jump into my actual project right now. I want to show the ways we are able to interact with the project. So what we can see over here is I have my work breakdown. I have my, oop. So we have a 7-layer project structure within Mission Control. The highest level is portfolio management. Under portfolio, we allow for program management. Under programs, we could have projects like you could see over here. Under projects, we could have phases like you see over here. Under phases, we allow for milestones. Under milestones, we could have actions. And under actions, we could have checklist items. You don't need to use every one of these layers, but they are there for you to use when you need them. Um, we could also see that I have assigned, let's say, schedule some hours that are billable. They could also be non-billable. I have durations that are all based at the action level. So we do have a highly detailed work breakdown here. If I want to go look into that work breakdown, what it kind of looks like, I think maybe go jumping into my Gantt view might make more sense, where you have a bird's eye view on your timeline and even a better understanding of, let's say, the project dependencies. So to speak to the hierarchy that I just mentioned earlier, we have our project. Under a project, we have our milestones. Under a project, we have our phases. Under our phases, we have our milestones. Under our milestones, we have our actions, and then we could even have checklist items under those actions. By going a little bit closer into my project, what we see here is that I built out some dependencies to have those dependencies work. It's literally dragging and dropping between like levels. Um, and let's say we see this functional configuration here. Let's say this gets pushed out to July 1st. Because I have those dependencies, everything else will get pushed out in accordance. This is our critical path. And what we also have visibility on is baselines and actuals. Again, these are all data points we are able to leverage um, within greater reporting and have a better understanding of bottlenecks, delays, where they're coming, who's causing these delays. This is the beauty of using Salesforce, where everything can be pushed and pulled into reporting. Within the Gantt chart as well, something we've just, I think within our May release, I think, no, I know within our May release, we've released constraints. So I could add another layer within the project and say, let's say within a series of constraints, just for example, one is finish no later than. So I could have, let's say, as my project pushes forward, everything will move in accordance, but I could have, let's say a limit where nothing could move past a certain date or start no earlier than, or whatever it is. So we are able to add constraints to the projects within the dependencies. Um, Along with a Gantt view, which is which is pretty much a fan favorite. We could also export this CSV wise, PNG, PDF. You can make this live in many different locations. We also have our whiteboard. Our whiteboard is essentially a Gantt chart, a Kanban view where I'm able to see different statuses. I can look at the priority actions, or even looking at who's working on what. The idea is I want to have full visibility of my project here and be able to interact with it as I need. So this is one solution. Any action taken on a Gantt chart will affect the Kanban board, will affect the overview. If someone wants to live on the Kanban board, they more than welcome to. If someone wants to live in the list view, more than welcome to. The idea is have your users interact with the solution within interfaces that they are familiar with and want to use. Um, And along with this, we also have the ability to measure risks and issues. Risks in our language, risks are things that can happen. Issues are things that are happening. Now, we have the ability to qualify risks, add planning elements to them, assign them to actions and milestones. So let's say if someone's new to a project, we are able to have visibility in terms of where those let's say delays or risk might come into effect. And then in worst case scenario, let's say that the risk does become an issue. We have a one-click button into turning that promoting a risk into an issue. And imagine pulling all those issues into a single dashboard so you could have full visibility on all the risks and issues within your organization. We also have the ability to have within our expenses, we have purchase orders and log expenses to those purchase orders. And different, we have much a deeper sense of reporting as well at the project level, from actions, overdue actions, checklist items, burn down, risks, issues, P&L, scheduled, complete, remaining, um, all the information that will be helpful for a successful project. We do have directly here, and if some of this information is not important for you, just remove it. We do have settings to quickly and easily remove all this information. Um, so at this point, something I also want to quickly share is there are also multiple ways for us to collaborate on projects. Um, if you're familiar with Experience Cloud, every object in Mission Control can be expressed in a community portal, which is Experience Cloud. Um, what we also could do is leverage these project status reports. A project status report could be created, it could be automated, it could be sent out, it could be scheduled, whatever you need it to be. And this project status report could be fully white labeled to your organization and have all the information that you need to share either internally or externally. So having health checks, metrics on those health checks, overview on, let's say, project completion rate based on actions or however you want to set that up. You see total hours logged, visibility into the project. So this is something like this on manually could take maybe up to half an hour to create per project, where this is one click into it, where they have a quick and easy project status report. Um, Something we also have along with that would be our view only links. So within Mission Control, we do have these client-facing links. So these are view only. The customer cannot interact with them, cannot change anything, but they are essentially unique URLs that when you send out, you are able to have your customer see what's important within a project. So if let's say I want to share Gantt chart, Kanban, and risks. By clicking into this link, and I can share this as I need to, you don't need a Salesforce license to leverage this. You have real-time visibility into a project's lifecycle. first click is always the slowest click. Um, so right now, what you see over here is we have our full project lifecycle. Um, and I cannot interact with it, but it just gives me visibility and kind of shortening that feedback loop. So better customer collaboration and really kind of getting key in that feedback loop so everyone's aware of where the project stands. So now that we've gone through, let's say, a lot of the fun parts of the project, there's also the staffing element to that, to which I'd like to maybe jump further into. Um, there are multiple ways to staff a project. So typically what we used to have before our release and before kind of what I'm looking forward to showing today, we used to have, we still do have, it's not used to, the ability to leverage our resource request object, resource assignment wizard. So resource assignment wizard will allow me to, let's say, find, let me go back to that original project. Some projects where I didn't staff people. Webinar, yes. So what I can see over here, let's go into this one. Um, I can see that I require a consultant for 4 hours on that action, something I've scheduled. But it's not a named user, and what I could do is switch out the placeholder consultant for a named user. So I could look into my bank of consultants. I could even further qualify this by looking for certain skills, certification, or even let's say cross-referencing between teams. So looking into that over here to kind of see all my team of consultants, what I could identify is that these are the hours people have already scheduled within these weeks, and I can see within what color there are based on that billable target I showed earlier. So let's say Bethany, you can see she definitely needs some hours, so I could just drag and drop and give Bethany this role. I could also add as many contributors as I'd like to an action, either by splitting up the hours or even not even splitting up the hours. So basically, it's a visibility question. By saving that, what I've done is I've now assigned that role to, oh, okay, no, this is a problem issue. I could also fully assign a project from the auto assignment wizard, basically having different weighting elements. So weighting a project based on capacity or skills, and then having a number percentage that shows me which might be the best fit for the role. But what I'm looking to show you is that new process we have with the mission control that allows for resource request and the data level of assignment. So if I go into my resource planner, where are you going with resource requests? I can see, so resource requests can exist in a backlog. This is just definitely a process we can discuss all together. But in terms of you could have a list of resource requests and kind of be ping an individual who be assigned to kind of say staff that resource request. But what I can see here is that there is information that exists at the resource request level. So reason for request, function, what is the request schedule? So is it hours, percentage, billable, non-billable? Could definitely have what's the duration, could have that directly scheduled up over here. And we have visibility in terms of past resource requests and then or decline resource requests at the resource request level. But in terms of actually staffing a resource request, what does that process look like? So if you go into our resource planner, what you'll see over here is we have a resource request tab on the top right hand side. So this wasn't there 2 months ago. I'm super excited that it's here now. So what we can see is basically, let's say if I have a resource request for, let's say on my Aloha project, and I'm looking for it to be, this one. Uh, so I'm looking for this resource request. I need a consultant. So I'm basically looking into that consultant team. I want it to be 50% of their billable time between these dates. I can even further qualify based on filters. So if I want to look at my team and just basically say who fits that criteria, I can see that there's three resources that do fit that criteria. But let's say this is a placeholder consultant. I don't want this to be part of my view. I could just, let's say, choose these individuals, compare them, and now I just have the individual views. If I had skills, the certifications, you would definitely be able to see them in the skill overview. But what I could see is basically Alana definitely has more availability. So if I'm going to make this decision based on just capacity, let me select Alana. So by doing so, right now I can see your bill rate, cost rate, and I have further ways to kind of see change ownership of the role. And what I'll be doing is kind of assigning her to that role directly from here. So it's a little bit of a different process, but we do see this. This is aligned with, let's say, more structured, resource-focused organizations on typically on the enterprise mid-market side. So, but you don't need to be on that level to leverage this. If you are SMB, you're more than feel free to kind of leverage our solution like this. By saving that, now I've now assigned that resource and she is now on the project. Um, so something I also typically like to show within these calls is those a little bit more high level views. So I was showing you Gantt level views at the project level. What I also have are, let's say, more global Gantt views. So think of this as a Gantt of Gantt, where I have my whole organization within one single view. And then the idea is it's up for me to kind of, let's say, slice and dice this information as I need. So if I only want to look at certain projects, certain statuses of projects, or however I want to kind of slice and dice it, we have this information to have the right presets available for you at the right time. Something that's cool, and I know that's not common in professional project management solutions, is the ability to connect separate, nope, not again, inter-project dependencies. I'd be able to have two separate projects that are dependent on each other. So let's just say you're running an event and you have some sort of whatever it is, you are able to kind of build out those inter-project dependencies. Within this level of view, what we also have is, let's say in terms of a bit more global views, we also have our whiteboard, potentially a Kanban board where, again, I'm able to slice and dice my data as required. If I want to look at, let's say, within my organization, I want to see the status of all actions on, let's say, from my developer team. Developers. By doing so, it's going to filter it. I can see what's planned, what's in progress, what's on hold, what's complete. And then even as a developer, I might be able to say, hey, look, or let's say I'm having a weekly stand-up, this lead flow, I need to put this on hold. You could act directly from this page and kind of just use the cards as needed. Again, highly suggest kind of setting up those presets so you're able to really slice and dice this data as you require. Um, Something I also typically like to show is above the project level. I mentioned we have a 7 layer project hierarchy. So above projects, what you can do is link many projects to a program and have these act as a bit of like a blinder. So you're able to look into the data of a program and have better understanding of what are what's the implications of these group of projects and kind of slice and dice this as I need. So looking into this over here, I could see that I have a budget for these projects, requirements, overdue milestones, actions, um, who's working on these projects, and better understanding, let's say, our scheduled remaining complete, and even into my risks and issues. Again, I have a view into my Gantt chart, which really helps me better understand um, the timelines and such. So as we're kind of playing around with these different views, what we also have, and something else I like to show, is a scheduler. So the scheduler, think of this as like a Gantt chart meets a resource planner, um, where you could use it as a high-level overview tool, something you can have a bird's eye view looking into your organization, or you could actually use it to workshop, to move actions around from schedule to schedule. If someone gets sick and needs to move an action instantly, something you could just definitely do is just grab an action and move it into a different person's schedule. I see it affects utilization, affects allocation. And again, through the page like this, I could also set up as many filters as I'd like and even change the date range. So very flexible scheduler and really great way to play around with timelines. I could even create actions directly from this page and have visibility into someone's total hour detail, what's billable, what's non-billable, what's on holiday, what's exempt, giving you full visibility into your bench timelines and activities around those timelines. Um, with that said, hopefully this is opened up here. Let me view into those timelines. Um, So one element I didn't discuss yet is how to log time. So what you'll see over here is these are all schedule hours in terms of what Alana's been scheduled to do. But let's say if Alana actually wants to log time to those actions, how does she do it? By going into our project, there's multiple ways for us to log time. Some ways are more eloquent than others, but some ways are used more than others. So if I want to go into Demo. Webinar. Webinar. There you go. If I want to go into my actual project over here, what I could do is I could um, see the action level over here. I could actually go into the actual project, log time directly from here. So I could say I worked on 4 hours. So I could define log type. This page is highly customizable. I can even say hours complete and log it directly here. I can use a stopwatch functionality. Throughout Mission Control in Salesforce, we do have a global action button, so you'd be able to log time wherever you are within Mission Control. If you're looking to, let's say, if your day-to-day lives on the action pad, and basically you just want you want a list of all your projects, um, and all your action to basically live on a page like this and log time directly from here, that's possible. Again, I think as much as we love these eloquent and fun ways to log time, realistically, the way that everyone always logs time is a timesheet. So here we have our timesheet. What we see is that there's grayed out hours on the actual chart over here. This is hours I've been scheduled to. These are hours already logged. This is where you can have billable, non-billable. If you want to have like admin, if you want to have full visibility on your bench and see what every hour of the day is gone to, that you do it directly from here. Um, and and yeah, have this be your source of truth. We have the ability to connect this to a calendar, either Outlook or Google, so can be definitely leveraged as such. So that's pretty much a little head-to-head run through of mission control. As I mentioned, there is a much deeper solution here to kind of jump further into. Um, in terms of our support. Um, we do have amazing documentation online. So we have a video database, we have a knowledge base, we have user guides, we have as close as possible to 24-hour support. We do have going further into this, we have playbooks in terms of, let's say, setting yourself up. We have campfires. Oh, no, not camel, campfires. We have campfires. You could find over here. I think so basically next week there's her this is typically led by our success team, so different individuals are always learning this. So happy to share as much resources as possible. We're always happy to collaborate as needed. We are a very flexible team. We want to make sure you have the right resources at hand, but we also want to do things properly. So feel free to reach out to myself or Cosmo, our little sidekick here. We want to make sure you're running your operations and your professional services teams as seamlessly as possible. So, looking forward to hearing any feedback. Feel free to reach out my way. My name is Julian Ricciardi. You can reach out at just by booking a demo or reach out to sales@aprika.com. Thank you for joining in today. Until the next time and until the time we speak again. Cheers.